Welcome back to our channel again, fellow subscribers. We appreciate your time. If this is your first time of watching our channel, we want to welcome you, and please subscribe, share our videos to your network, and also like. For our loyal subscribers, we give you a thumbs up as always, and we thank for staying with us as we grow this platform of ours. So again, we are grateful to see you again today. Hopefully you enjoyed our previous episode when we talked about how you choose a university and what are the steps that you need to follow. I hope that you had some time to review that options. If you got some questions there, please drop down to the comment section. And what are we going to talk about today? Today we are talking about the tuition fee. We are covering the entire tuition fee process. I am sure that you're going to have a lot of information here. After watching this episode, what are you going to come out with? You will understand the entire process about tuition fee, what does it involve, and the different types of tuition fee, and also what is applicable to you depending on your situation. By this means where you're coming from, which region you are located in. It will be broken down into reasonable way so you can apply that into your own situation, and then you should make the informed decision, you the viewers. So thanks for watching. As you are watching us, if you can hit that red subscribe button there, like and share our video, that will be awesome of you. So we will appreciate you doing that for us. Thanks so much. Where we're going to work at this episode is going to be some kind of a question and answer session. So we will have a few questions we put forward, and then we are going to respond to those in providing you an informed way of looking at this, right? So I hope that this is going to touch you and you have a better understanding so you can apply that in your own situation. So number one, so what we're going to look at now, the basic definition is, what are tuition fees? Well, some will call it the tuition fees, some will call it the school fees, payment fees, whatever way you want to put it. It's just very basic. It's what students or learners or people who study at university or colleges pay for the services that universities renders to them in terms of teachings, in terms of the knowledge they transfer to them, and all of these are important. So the services that they render to you are services we put the services in everything put together, so they can be able to tailor those services to you in return for the money that you paid them. So this is just so simple. There are just no other way to go around this. So it's just basically the services that you pay, you offer, or universities offers you, then that's what you get in return. So that's called the tuition fee. Now, another question here is, why do students pay tuition fee? Why do you pay tuition fee altogether? It's very simple. The reason you pay tuition fee or university collect tuition fee from students, it's very simple, because they want to stay afloat. They use this as a source of their income. The money that they collect from you help the university to build its program to strengthen the faculties that deliver the services in terms of the teachings and trainings. All of some universities receive funding from the government and other things, of course, but again, it's also one of the principal source of revenue generation from universities. So this helps them to strengthen their facilities, to build good labs, research centers. It enables them to upgrade the qualifications that are delivered to you. So these are the different ways that why they collect this tuition fee. So they have to be at the top of their level. They have to upgrade themselves in a variety of ways. So that's the reason. That is just a simple reason why they collect fees. They may also collect this money apart from the money they got from the government. They can invest this also into research, to research new programs, new methodologies, new techniques on how can be applied to different programs. So once you graduate, you have a chance to use that knowledge to implement in your own industry or whatever background you're coming from. So that's just basically the reason why the university collects tuition fee from you. So also, a lot of people ask this question of what is included in the tuition fee. We pointed out a little bit there, but let me just dig deeper a little bit. Now, what's included in your tuition fee? Now, the things that are included in your tuition fee will include access to lots of information at the university. It could be the website of the university. It could be the access to the library. If for students who study online, that may give you access to the online library for you to print your publications, journal articles, research papers online. And for those who are on campus, it may provide you or includes maybe the library fee. It also includes the research cost for some particular program. If you are doing a residential program, some courses may involve part of the fees being included into the overall tuition fee. So it also provides you access to classroom, and you have a lot of university resources that comes alongside you paying your tuition fee. So there are other access for paying the fees that by paying your tuition fee, it gives you an exclusive access to the university resources. So those resources could mean different things for different schools, but that's what is included. Now, our next question, they're asking about types of tuition fee. How many types of tuition fee are out there? Well, tuition fee is tuition fee, but the question should be what categories that you fall in. We may study in the same university, we may be classmates, but we fall in different categories of fees. So the way I'm going to break this down will be in 4 parts. Number 1 will be home students. For those students who that's their country, that's where they live, that's where they do everything, they may be eligible to pay a certain amount of the tuition fee for the same program. So that's so important. These are home students. They are classified as, they might be citizens of that country, they might hold permanent residence of those particular countries that they are, they were born there in a different way, they were brought there. So all of these things, there are different categories. So you want to check on how that applies to you as a home student. Now, the second thing here we're going to look into will be regional tuition fee. The regional tuition fee in this case will be a particular region that they may consider students who come from that particular area for them to qualify for or to be in a particular category, and that will help them pay a certain amount that is acceptable by that regional body. A good example of this is the European Union students. The students from the European Union, most of the time who plan to study in the UK or in the Netherlands or to study in Germany or in any part within the EU, they have a fee that is designed for them. The regional students will pay a little bit less as compared to those coming from different countries. So this is so important. In most cases, the national students, in the case of the European Union, they will definitely pay the same fees as those of the home student. So the regional students are there, and the regional students come as a result of some kind of regional block, economic block, or educational acceptance process in place, which they have agreed. So that may help them to pay the tuition fee in that aspect. So the next one is international student. I don't know what category that you fall in, but international students will be required to pay huge amount of fees. This has been for over the years, but it's something that we're going to make a special video about that to talk about why international students pay higher fees. But I will touch on to that a little bit briefly. So international students in this case, you may be coming from a different country to study. Let's say you're coming from Africa, you want to study in America or in Europe, you will be considered as an international student. If you come from Asia, you want to study in Europe, you will be considered as an international student. Again, if you're coming from Europe to study in Africa, in whichever country in Africa, in Nigeria or South Africa or in the Gambia or in Zambia, in Kenya, you will be considered as an international student. In that case, you would have a different tuition fee that's applicable to you in your situation. That's why I said the situation depends on your particular background, where you're coming from. So you may become an international student based on your situation or depending on your university of choice. Now, I hope that sits well. So the fact that, because the notion of that international fees are only applied to students who come from out of the European Union or from the US, that's wrong. it could apply for students from EU who go to do research or study in an African university or in Latin American university or in Asian universities. So the term international would apply to them automatically. So except they have some kind of accords together that limits them from that part. Now, the last part of the tuition fee types or category we're going to look into here are waiver tuition fees. How does it work? The waiver tuition fee in this case will be, for some reasons, for some particular arrangement, special arrangement by international organizations or governments of countries, they may require students from a particular area to waive them a certain fee. It could be about regional arrangements or lots of other internal kind of treaties or accord that will limit them from the amount of money they're going to pay. So if you fall as a student in that particular category, you will be having waiver. Of course, there are students who can also benefit from waivers, are those who did previous studies and they may have to waive some courses and they qualify in a later amount that they're required to pay. So hopefully types of fees and categories has been settled, and now you can determine which part that you fall into. Now, the next question about tuition fee has always been around is why international students pay more fees? Well, there might be several reasons, but the very basic reasons will be that they are international students. They are not originally. In principle, it's considered that these students haven't been living in that particular country they're going in, and they haven't been paying taxes in those countries. These taxes could mean the parents of the students who today they become students, the parents have been living there, they've been paying the taxes of that country, and they, for whatever reasons, they qualify in that particular case. I don't know what your situation is, but if you're coming from, as I explained earlier, if you're coming from a different country, you'll be considered as international. So because you are not been paying fees, paying taxes in that country, you're not eligible for some particular things, no social security that you paid in that particular country. So in principle, you'll be required to pay higher fees as opposed to home student, which I explained earlier. So I hope that notion of that international students pay more. Why? It's basically they are not paying the taxes in that country, and they are not been paying some social security issues that are required by the nationals of that country. So while you're coming in, of course, they consider you're coming to benefit in the education system, so you'll be required to pay higher fees. So in principle, that's the way it's been calculated. Of course, it's a regulatory thing about the governments of these countries who agree that this is what they want to set in terms of the payment system that people coming from abroad would have to pay. Another very important question about tuition fee here is if you can get a loan from your country, the intended country where you're going to study, if that is possible. That's why home students secure loans, and then you coming from abroad cannot study. Again, abroad here will be you coming from Europe to study in Africa, or from African countries to study in Asia, or to study in the US, or study in Europe. So you have to get that really clearly. Now, the simple reason is you cannot tap into the resources in that international country. I'm going to give an example here. So if you're coming from, let's say, from South Africa to study in the UK, you're planning to tap into the loan system in that country, and that might be difficult for you because, for again the reasons I explained earlier, you need to be able to have paid and contributed into the system in that country. Then you benefit from that amount, where it's a certain amount that you can tap into or make an application for you to pay. In a case where you are taking a loan, they want to know how you're going to pay that. So they have a way to track you down if you're not paying. They have a way to figure that out. But for an international student who come in there might be some exceptional cases where you come in and you have a chance. This is different from a scholarship. It's different from grants. So we don't want to link that. That should be a topic for another day. So hopefully you are aware now that the fact that you cannot access the funds in the country that you're going to study is as a result of that you are not being contributing to that system, you don't live there, and you're not eligible as a result of the taxing system or the social security system. I hope that sits well. So Another question here about the tuition fee is the higher tuition fee thing or the home tuition fee and international tuition fee change anytime soon? Well, the question is, I don't see that changing anytime soon. That's based on my experience. It's not going to change. Not in my lifetime, maybe not in your lifetime, but we never know what happens. So there might be regulatory things about your rights and other stuff like that. But again, the tuition fee thing in terms of you paying here and the other person paying this amount, it's not going to change anytime soon. It's going to even be strengthening. It's going to remain the same for the next foreseeable future. So that won't change at all. So if you're planning to study for university of your choice, if you are a home student, you know what you're eligible for. If you're an international student, you know what the implication will be in terms of fees. So it's high in a way, of course, but there are reasons why that's different. So it's so important that you know where you fall in if you plan to study in whatever country with regards to tuition fee. So I hope this information has been very helpful to you, and the next time you plan on studying, the information about tuition fee, if you find this helpful, please make sure that you leave us a comment and share our videos to your network. We always appreciate your time.